oh no, it's him again, and he's not got the cards. I was here for a reading, are they coming back? No, sorry, I'm doing another talky one, I'm afraid. So today I'm talking about this. I've not decided what to put it up there, so I'm just going to point. I have had a lot of caffeine, so I'm going to be a bit jiggly Gordon Ramsay on this one, I'm afraid. I've also got the heating on, it's a little bit damp, so the camera's a little bit... yeah, flooded out in Chesterfield. I've got to go to the shop in a bit as well, because I've got no food in. I'm running out of coffee as well, so I'm going to crash shortly. Right, okay, I will do some tarot ones soon. Depends how long this one takes to load up, and if you're watching this on Saturday, I'm probably going to try and do some lives as well. Right, okay, so yeah, what's brought this video on? I'm going to try not to make it ranty, but there might be a little rant in between. Is that the other day I came across a post by a Dr. Joel Tudman, I believe it's pronounced, and he's talking about standards and boundaries. Now, I've reposted that, I've put it on my Instagram as well, and for me, if you follow me, you know I talk about stepping into my divine, and that is the best way I can describe stepping into your divine. Now, I was having a conversation with my bestie Amy, and we were talking about people being in their ego. Now, I'm assuming she was playing devil's advocate here. The conversation has been via voice notes, so I'm not sure. I've not had a response yet. She was saying that, yes, but Richard, surely that video that you posted, that is ego-based. Now, I'm going to try and say what he says. It's not going to be as dramatic. I'm not a public speaker. And I might get it slightly wrong. So apologies if the quote's slightly wrong here. So what he said is that when you set your boundaries and when you set your standards, you're going to get people coming up to you and going, my God, you think you're all that. And when you are in your power and when you know your self-worth, you are going to have the attitude of, well, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I don't care what you think. I am all that. And I'm not going to let anybody pull me down, basically. That's the long and short of it. Now, I can understand why people might see that as being in your ego or arrogance. Now, I'm going to try and explain why that is not the case. Okay, now, we are not saying here that you should be walking around thinking you are God's gift, and you shouldn't, okay, because that is arrogance and ego. What we are talking about here is when we set boundaries and standards, especially with people who do not see our worth, who want to come along and take advantage of us, we need to realise that they are the ones that are missing out. And if they cannot see those kind of qualities in us, then that is their problem. Okay, so I'm going to try and give a few examples here. So, for most of my relationships, bar two that just weren't right and broke down, I've been cheated on, I have had people take advantage of me, I've had people just not see my self-worth. Okay, now, me as a person, and when I get into a relationship, I want to give it everything. I want unconditional love, and I am prepared to give unconditional love to that person if the match is right. Now, I know that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, looks-wise, personality-wise, belief-wise, stuff like that. Okay, I get that. Okay, and I'm not saying that I'm everybody's perfect match. The point is, when somebody comes along and it's a good fit, okay, if they cannot see those qualities, okay, and if they cannot understand what's being offered, then they are going to lose out. Simple as that. Because I know that when it comes to a relationship, I am all that, and I am, because I know what I know what I have to offer. Now, again, I'm not saying I'm the perfect person. I have my faults, of course I do. And you know, you just need to go back to one of my earlier videos where I'm talking about being in a relationship with somebody on the spectrum. I know I'm a fucking nightmare, and you know, poor old future Mrs. Odoms who might come along. Not only do they have to deal with that, they also have to deal with this new version of Richard who's a bit of a lunatic and, you know, comes on here and says all this shit. The point is, though, I now know my self-worth. Okay, I now know my self-worth. In the past, I would be very much like, oh no, somebody's cheated on me. What have I done wrong? You know, they're putting me down. What have I done wrong? No, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I know my self-worth now. Okay. And if you're going to come along and you're going to cheat on me, if you're going to not show me the respect I deserve, if you're going to try and put me down, if you're not going to let me spread my wings, then no room, I'm afraid. No room for you in my life. I am all that when it comes to that. I know what I bring to the table. And if you cannot see that, that is your problem. That is your problem, okay? I don't have a problem if you turn around to me and you go, oh, you irritate me, or I don't feel it's the right mix, it's not the right match, there's certain qualities about you that don't fit in. That's perfectly fine. But if you come to me, okay, and you look at kind of taking advantage in any kind of way, then no, sorry, you're not seeing me for who I am and what I bring to the table, okay? And in that case, you're not worthy of my time, okay? And in this instance, yeah, I am all that. I am all that, okay? Another quick example, this is a common one that tends to crop up, and again, this might sound arrogant, sorry if it does, doesn't mean to be. I tend to be, right, when I kind of get in a relationship and stuff like that, I tend to be the guy who, when you get certain people and they say, right, I'm looking for this, and this. I'm looking for a gentleman. I'm looking for somebody to love me. I'm looking for somebody to show me a good time. I'm looking for somebody who's gentle and kind and stuff like that. I'd like to think I am like that, okay? That is what I'd like to think that I offer. It's that thing of, when, I'm going to be a little bit gender biased here, but, when you've got, women and they talk around what they're looking for in a man, I'd like to think that I bring those qualities. Now, what's happened in the past is, I get in those relationships and I offer that and I show that. And at the start, they're all like, yeah, this is great, you're so kind, you're so loving, da, 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 da. And then after a period of time, all of a sudden that becomes a bit boring, okay? And then they run back to the sleazy bad boys because, that's what they used to. And obviously that's far more exciting. And they never actually wanted that in the first place. They wanted some shitty relationship and to be treated like crap. Well, if that's what you want, that's what you can get. And you can miss out on what people like me are actually giving, okay? So again, yeah, am I all that? Yeah, I am all that. To be honest with you, yeah, I know what I offer. I know what I bring to the table. Now, side note, gonna rant quickly, running out of time. Okay, I know recently that somebody's been fucking about with my path, if you want to call it that. I know that somebody has been fucking about with what the divine has set out. Now, I've had enough. The universe has had enough. Now, after doing this video, I am going to be doing the most energetic curse removal I have ever done in my life, because I've had enough now. I'm getting pissed off with it, and I know the universe is getting pissed off with it. Somebody is pissing about with divine intervention. Now, I don't know who you are, okay? That doesn't matter when it comes to my curse removals, and I'm going to be using Shiva, okay? Some of the others as well. Might dip into a bit of Mark Ali. Not used her before. That'll be interesting, won't it? Now, as I've said before in my earlier curse removal video, if you come forward and you apologise, that'll be it. I'm a very forgiving person, okay? Unless I've physically blocked you on all social media, then there's a good chance that I will allow you to say your piece and come back, okay? That goes across the board, okay? If you don't, okay, your life is going to go to shit, because you are fucking with divine intervention. And like I say, I have had enough now. Okay, we'll leave it at that, because I know that you will be watching this, whoever you are, because you're trying to fuck with me. Okay, and you'll be probably feeling quite proud of yourself that things keep going a little bit wrong for Richard. Well, enough's enough. Okay, enough is enough now. Anyway, side note, done. Okay, rant done. Okay, so yeah, the point is. Find that self-worth. There is nothing wrong with going, do you know what? I am all that. In this situation, I am all that. I know what I have to offer. If you are not going to see that in me, don't bother coming into my life, okay? And I want people to take that on board. And if you think it's arrogant, think it's arrogant. Like he says, I don't care. I don't care. I know my power and my worth. That was it. Until next time, I will try and do some tarot shortly. Ta-ta.